Hey guys, Kyle here with Dark Iron Diesel. Gonna do a video here on doing a delete on a 2015 Ram 1500 with the Ecodiesel engine. Should be the same process for any Ram Ecodiesel. One thing that is different about these ones is I have to take the ECM out and ship it to the guy who writes my tunes, and then he ships it back to me. I can't just plug into the OBD plug and tune it with EFI Live or EasyLink, whatever. I can't do that on these trucks. So I'm just gonna start the video off here showing you how to remove the ECM so you guys can ship it to somebody so they can do the tune for you. And then once I get the ECM back, I'll pull the truck back in the shop and we'll go over what to do underneath. So anyways, if you find this video useful, please like and subscribe. If you don't, ask in the comments, any questions you have. Let me know what you didn't like, or look me up on Instagram at Dark Iron Diesel. Shoot me a message. I always try to reply as quick as possible, and I'm happy to help anyone out if I can. So anyways, we're gonna get right into it here. We're starting by pulling the ECM. Okay, to keep this video a little shorter, I've kind of done some of the work, but I'll just show what I did. Your ECM is gonna be located up here, and that's the front, the passenger side firewall. I already took mine out. Well, it's not out, but I unbolted it. There's gonna be 4 10mm bolts, 2 on the top and then 2 on the bottom. To get at it, I took off my air filter housing. So all you do is you unplug your mass airflow here and you loosen this clamp here. And then this whole box will kind of lift up and then you kind of fold it out of there. So the reason why I did this here is now I can access these 2 latches. There's gonna be 2 plugs, one here and one down here, and you're just gonna fold these down, and as you fold them down, these tabs will come up, and then once you fold it all the way down, it should pop up. The plug on the bottom, you actually fold it up instead of down. You fold it up and you kind of work it off, and that's how you unplug the ECM. But I did it this way because I can now unplug the ECM. I'm gonna put this truck outside and then I'm gonna unplug the ECM just so that I don't have it sitting in the shop for 4 days while I wait to get the ECM back from the tuner. So now what I'm doing before I disconnect the ECM, you can see the truck is outside now. I am scanning the codes, and you always got to scan the codes even if there are none. Like in this case here, see I got no codes at all, so I'm going to scan them and then I'm going to clear them before I pull the ECM. Okay, just clearing all the codes even though there weren't any, but still it's something you got to do. And as soon as this is done, there we go. Now we're going to turn the key off, take the key out. I'm going to shut this off. And now we're going to go out and we're going to disconnect the negative post. So last thing before we disconnect the ECM, you want to pull off your negative battery post. This just has 1 battery. I think all half-ton Ecodiesels have 1 battery. So 10mm nut right there, and then pull your negative battery cable off. Okay, I got the negative post off. Put a rag there just so it wouldn't, scooch over and touch. Just make sure. Yeah, got no lights on, nothing. Should have no power at all. Now we're gonna go unplug this ECM. Try to do it one-handed without freezing my hands off here. But yeah, I'm just pushing this down. See, as I push it down, these tabs are coming up, just like that. There's one. Try to get down. See, you can see there's, it's kind of hard to see. I can't show you. There's another one down there. You got to pull this one up though. So I'm just gonna pop it up. Work it a bit, work it back and forth, up and down until you feel it come off. There we go. I think I got her. Yeah. There we go. And there's the ECM. Now just get her ready to ship it to whoever's doing your tune, and then wait for it to come back in the mail. Okay, I got my ECM back. It should be tuned. So I'm just gonna plug it back in there loosely, and then I'm gonna go over here and reconnect my negative cable, and I'm gonna drive it in the shop to do the repair. Now, like I said, make sure you talk to your tuner before you do this, because some tunes require you to unplug some of the sensors on the DPF system before you install the ECM. Okay, as you can see, I took this air box out again. All you have to do is unplug the mass airflow and unbolt this. This tube just actually popped right off mine. This clamp here is loose, so whoever was in here last didn't tighten it, so I'll make sure to tighten it back up when I put it on. And there I bolted the ECM back in place. 2 10mm bolts on the top and 2 down there. They're kind of a pain to get at, but I got them all with just a shallow 1/4 inch 10mm socket and a ratchet. So there you go. And with my tune, you can leave the EGR system and the throttle valve, you can leave that all plugged in. So that is it. I'm just gonna put this air box back in, and then we'll get at the exhaust system. Okay, so we're just at the front of the truck here. It's been a while since I did one of these, so I'll just try to remember everything we gotta do. There's a V-band clamp up there. That's gonna come off. So what I'd probably do is on the nut up there, I'd spray some penetrating fluid on. Same with this bolt, we're gonna have to take that off. A couple lines here are gonna have to be disconnected. There's a sensor back there. Looks like another sensor here. Def injector line and the electrical for that. And then you got these guys that go up onto this, basically this frame rail. They're up there. They're a huge pain to get at. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of unplug them, and then I'll show you guys what they look like once I have it all unplugged and out of the way. I think there's just one big sensor or one big plug up there you can unplug, and then the whole module will just come out. So then also spray this guy with some penetrating fluid at the muffler hanger or the muffler clamp, just because we're gonna have to disconnect that and we don't want the bolt to snap on us. Anyways, I'm gonna disconnect everything, and then I'll show you guys kind of what I did. For these ones here, you're gonna push this tab, and there's one on the back side. Push them back, and then get a pick in here, and you're just gonna pry it out like that, and then the line should you should be able to pop it off after. On ones that have this kind of locking tab, I can't actually do it because I need my other hand to hold it, but you're gonna grab a pick and you're gonna push this little middle tab to the left like that, and then you should be able, once it's to the left, you should be able to push it down, and this whole tab will slide down. Once this tab has slid down so that this is flush, the tab is flush with this green connector, then you can just press on that clip there and pull the connector apart. This one here on the def injector, I already got it down a bit, but you pull it, the red tab down like that. Get it right off if you want, and then you should be able to, just like that. Okay, on your def injector, I cut this heat wrap back a bit, and then there's this tab here, and there's one on the other side too. You're just gonna push them both and pop it off. This module off, it goes up there, just 2 10mm bolts, and then this is the connector. You just pop this gray tab back and you can unplug it. The other one is there. You can see one of the, it's upside down. You can see one of the nuts here. Other one's back there. It's extremely difficult to unplug. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna cut it, because this guy isn't reusing he's not gonna ever use this DPF system. It is going to the metal recyclers as soon as I get it off this truck. So I'm probably just gonna cut it here, and then I'll heat shrink it up and get the ends all nice once I have the system out. Yeah, so I just cut it. Like I said, he's not gonna ever reuse it. he's not even taking it with him when he picks up the truck. So so all of these are off, and then up here there's two lines that are like up on the top by the V-band clamp, and they are super hard to get at too. I cut those as well. Like I said, I'm just gonna heat shrink them up after and make them nice. If you are gonna, you know, scared you're gonna have to put this back on one day, you're gonna have to spend the work and the time and get up there and unplug some of these sensors, which are extremely difficult to get at. So it's kind of your preference if you want to just rip it out quick, or if you want to, you know, take it out piece by piece and keep it, you know, reusable, then it's going to take a little more time. Okay, now that everything is unplugged, at the back here at your muffler, I'm gonna, like I said, we're not reusing this exhaust, so I'm gonna grab a Sawzall and I'm gonna cut it right here. And then that way, when I loosen, I'll pull this hanger off, I'll loosen this clamp, and then I can just beat this little chunk with a hammer, and it will come out way easier than trying to wiggle the whole exhaust over here. So I'm gonna cut it there, then I'm gonna unbolt it. There's 3 bolts here, gonna get rid of those. And then you got a bolt or a nut there, you got a nut there, and then you got to take off the V-band clamp up there. And that one, I think it's usually an 11mm socket to loosen the V-band clamp. It's on the other side though, if you can see. Up there is the actual nut. And then once you have it loose, you can just grab a little pry bar, flathead screwdriver, and kind of pry the edges, and it should just pop right off. Okay, I got this part out. Like I said, at the muffler here, I just cut with a Sawzall. And then up here, I tried to take these bolts off. See, I got one, then that one stripped out, and so did that one. So I just cut it. I just cut it at this one. So now I'm gonna go after this front part. Okay, there's the V-band clamp. I loosened it off with a ratcheting wrench. It's actually a 10mm nut, not 11mm. And then if you kind of go up through your fender well there, you can see it. I kind of beat it with a pry bar to get it to loosen off, and then I twisted it around. Of course, this isn't where it was. It was 180 degrees on the other side. The worst spot it probably could have been in. Just expect, if you're doing this job yourself, you're gonna be in one, because this is not a fun job. Anyways, this is pretty loose now, but I can't lift it up enough to get it off this stud. Now remember, there's this one and that one that were 13mm. That's not enough, so I'm gonna take these two 15mm tranny bell housing bolts out, get rid of this bracket, then put the bolts back in. You're not gonna need to reuse this bracket, so I'm gonna do that and see if it'll drop out. Okay, I got it out. Even after I took that bracket off the tranny, it wasn't quite enough. It dropped down, but I couldn't wiggle it out. So I ended up cutting it again. Right there. Where's the other piece? Just like that. And then it just all fell out. Just, if you're gonna do that, be careful, because this is a plastic tranny oil pan and you don't wanna wreck it. So now I'm gonna go up here and unplug these sensors I couldn't get before. And then I guess go to the back and get that last little chunk out. Okay, I loosened this clamp off at the muffler, and as you can see, it's already starting to come out. All I'm doing is I'm just banging it right there, and it should pop right out. Okay, so I put a heat shrink on each individual wire and then taped it all up. This is gonna go back in its clip, kind of up in there. I kind of zip tied these out of the way, so just take time to zip tie anything out of the way that's hanging, and we're gonna put these delete pipes in. So here's the kit number, 863NB. There it is next to the exhaust, the factory exhaust. This delete pipes is meant for a crew cab 6.5 foot box, I believe. This truck has the short box, so we're gonna have to cut some off of this back pipe. I think it's 7 inches, but we'll put it up there and measure anyways. When you do cut, make sure you cut from this side, because this length from where it's going to go in your muffler to this exhaust hanger is already like that's set in stone. So when you cut, if you need to cut on this side. Yeah, I got the front pipe in. I got the V-band clamp up there. I have it, it's not all the way tight yet because just in case we want to move this pipe a bit, it'll still pivot in there. But if you kind of angle it straight to the back, then you should be good. So yeah, just and like I said, I actually took the clamp off, flipped it, and put it up there, so it's way easier to access instead of like when it was on the other side. So I'm gonna put the second pipe on now. Okay, I got the second pipe on. It just slides over the front pipe. I'm not exactly sure if it goes in this one or that one. It seems to line up a little better in this lower hole, but I'll let you know once I have the rest of it on. Okay, it looks like it worked pretty good on that on the lower one. I cut 7 inches off this end of the back pipe. Then what I did is I kind of pulled this exhaust off to the side. I was able to slide the pipe in as far as I could. Then I got over here. I used my feet up on here. I pushed back on the exhaust as far as I could, just enough to squeak past, just enough to get this in there. And then once I had that guy lined up, I just grabbed the whole exhaust here and just pulled it all back. And everything is lined up and looking good. So just gonna put one clamp on here, one clamp up there, and then tighten the V-band clamp up at the up at your down pipe there. V-band is tight, clamp's tight, third one's tight, and don't forget to tighten the one on your muffler. Just be careful with that one. Don't over tighten it because it's old and it will probably snap and you're gonna have a bad day. So now fire it up and check for leaks, and that is pretty much it. Okay guys, well that's my video on installing Flo-Pro delete pipes on an Ecodiesel and the whole tuning process. Sorry this video went longer than I intended it to, but just felt like there's a lot that needed to be covered. Also remember to put those 2 bolts, your tranny bell housing bolts, back in after you remove that bracket. I don't know if I showed that in the video or not. And as you can see, even with the delete pipes, you can't really notice a huge difference in sound. I mean, they got that honking big muffler, plus there's a resonator after the muffler as well. So I'd be curious to see what one sounds like if it was straight pipe, but I've never done one like that yet. So anyways, guys, I hope this video helped. If you liked it, please like and please subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of how-to videos for everything diesel related pretty much. If you guys don't like it, you know, shoot me a message at Instagram at Dark Iron Diesel, or you know, message me in the comments and you know, let me know what you wanted to see or ask me any questions and I'll do my best to help you guys out. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching.